Hey guys, it's TRIZE here, back with Automation, the car company Tycoon game, and what you're seeing right now is one of my latest builds. It's literally called I beat Film in 86. This record-breaking Hypermiler beats the previous record of 546.1 miles per gallon by Filmin with this exact body with some noticeable changes, such as the design, engine placement, and engine tuning. I decided to make this car seeing that him and Rye are at war trying to compete who can make the most MPG in a vanilla car body. That's where I step in and ruin everything with this car. Anyways, I'll explain the details of this vehicle throughout this portion of the video. It has a lap time of 3 minutes 32 seconds 7 milliseconds at the quote-unquote Top Gear test track, 5 minutes 49 seconds 98 milliseconds at the automation track, and has a top speed of 30.8 miles per hour. This vehicle is powered by a gas-conserving 203 cubic centimeter inline-3 engine that produces 5.6 horsepower and 16.1 pounds-feet of torque. It has a fuel efficiency rating of 551.4 miles per gallon, which is a new record, and weighs 467.1 pounds, which equals to 211.9 kilograms. And now, let's go over the specs of this vehicle. In terms of how I beat the I beat Film 86, I'm such a clout chaser naming this car. But first things first, for the body, as you've seen with his videos or Twin Turbo's Rise videos, this is the body that I've used. It's the 1956 like Jaguar-esque type of body design for the E-Type made in the early 60s, particularly this generation. So it has the lowest wheelbase for any vehicle by putting a healthy amount of drag, which I believe the body, I can look it up here, is at right here. Drag is at a 0.275 coefficient at 2 meters of wheelbase, exactly 1.99 meters. Say this is pretty much the best body, a vanilla body, for making the most MPG in automation. So anyways, in terms of how I made this vehicle, the panel material will be made out of carbon fiber with a monocoque chassis also made out of carbon fiber. With a rear longitudinal engine placement, this is different from his front transverse placement in the other videos if you may have seen. And the front suspension uses a push rod suspension setup, and the rear uses a simple McPherson strut. And also quality at a plus 15 for virtually everything to reduce the amount of weight and to pretty much get that high MPG count. For the engine, like I said, it's an inline-3 engine and made out of magnesium with the bore and stroke set to the lowest of 50 millimeters each to get the family engine capacity set to 295-ish cubic centimeters with a dual overhead cam 5-valve made out of aluminum silicone. For the crank cow rods and pistons, they are to be the strongest ones as possible, except for the pistons here. The crank is at the strongest of a billet steel with lightweight titanium cow rods, and the pistons at a low friction cast, as this really improves your MPG rating compared to your lightweight forge. As you can see here, while it is lightweight, if I pull up the graph here and go to view car stats, and pay attention here, if I go from 551 with the low friction cast and click on like lightweight forged, I dropped out significantly to 496.5 miles per gallon. So kids, if you want to make the most MPG, especially at this rate, low friction cast it is. And for the variant capacity, lower this down to 45 millimeters for the bore, 42.5 millimeters for the stroke to get the true engine size, to 202.8 cubic centimeters, or like I said earlier, around 203 cc's. For the compression, it is set at a pretty high rating of 12.6 to 1 ratio with the cam profile dropped it all the way down to a 0 with VVT at all cams. And this is pretty interesting for the turbocharger here. As we can see here, there is no intercooler whatsoever. I mean, pretty much the turbo stats are useless. Like for the journal bearing, ball bearing, this is useless. And the compressor and turbine dropped to the lowest of the compressor at 22 millimeters, turbine at 20 millimeters, and the air ratio set to its optimum of 0.289, and the max boost set to a fairly sexy 6.94 psi. It's a nice number, ladies and gentlemen, right? Even though those jokes are pretty damn old, but whatever. So for the fuel system, you probably know the drill about this one. We're going to be using a direct injection throttle per cylinder race intake running on ultimate fuel, with the fuel mixture set to the lowest of 15, which is hella lean. The ignition timing set to an 89, and the RPM limit set to the lowest of 2,000 RPM. And the exhaust and everything, shortcast header 6 big turbocharged for single exhaust, with the exhaust diameter set to the lowest of 12.7 millimeters, which equals to a half an inch. And of course, no cats, no mufflers whatsoever. And real quick, give you a brief here of what this engine sounds like. Doesn't sound impressive, but at least it's an economical engine, right? Going into more details about the car, so for the drive type, we're going to be using a rear-wheel drive setup with a manual 4-speed with the top speed set to 30.8 miles per hour. It can go up to 47.85 miles per hour, but pay attention to the MPG counter right here. So I got it set to 30.8 miles per hour. If I increase it by literally 1 tick, we pretty much chopped this bitch by a half of 306.2 miles per gallon. Like, look at that. That's a significant difference, man. Fix this, Kill Rob. But whatever. 551.4, good enough. For the tires, we're using some radial hard long life tires at 60 millimeters for the front and back. Well, how I got to 60 millimeters is kind of interesting. What I did was increase the rim diameter to the max setting while lowering the tire diameter to the lowest setting. But you can see here, the lowest you can set is 85 millimeters by default. You can't go lower as long as you cheat here. But the lowest tire diameter at 500 millimeters, I believe, in diameter, centimeters, whatever. And do max out the rim diameter and change these to a cross ply. And we do get the tire width to 60 right here. And change it back to radial, and boom, we got the most miles per gallon right there. And the rims, just to throw this in, we're using carbon fiber rims because why the hell not? For the brakes, they are the smallest but lightest ones of all. We're using carbon ceramic 1-piston brakes with the size set to 160 millimeters for the front and rear brakes, with the pad type at a full-blown comfort setting, as this really does nothing whatsoever. It's just going to be screech, and that's it in BeamNG.drive. Under tray, as you can see here, pretty much useless. No under tray, no cooling airflow, no brake airflow, and for the interior and everything, no interior whatsoever due to the constraints of how weird this vehicle looks with the body design and how crammed this would be with the chassis poking out right here. Like, this is impossible to get in, man. So we're using a 1-seater with a basic interior and no entertainment whatsoever. For the safety and everything, we got no power steering, ABS brakes, and a safety at a none with a negative 15 quality slider to really reduce the weight. And last but not least, with the suspension, all basic, standard springs, twin tube dampers, passive sway bars, running on a racing preset with the sway bars fully removed. Oh boy, so we got a lot of problems with this vehicle, starting from the strong oversteer, underpowered engine, cooling factor, quality slider, short gearing, turn oversteer, ride high frequency, front damper speed too high, rear damper speed too high, front brake force speed too high, rear brake force speed too high, front camera setting, rear tires being narrow, and the clearance at the front of the engine. Let's go to BeamNG.drive and save the goddamn planet once and for all. So here we are at the botted racetrack at AVUS, AVUS, and taking a brief look at this vehicle. Well, the reason why I'm right here, especially in a time trial setting, is because we can't really do much with this vehicle driving-wise. Like, I've driven slow cars before, driven for like 6 or 8 minutes and crashing them out, and then heading on to a time trial. I think it's a better option to just go to a time trial run because, well, it'll be boring driving hella slow, complaining about the vehicle for a long time. So, as you can see, this vehicle, as you pretty much seen with the intro and everything, of how this pretty much looks like a Jaugar E-Type. Pretty much just looking up all around with this vehicle, especially with the rear lights, the rear chrome-like piece right here, the trim with the bumper and everything. Even though this is supposed to be like a modernized knockoff version of the E-Type by Jaguar. But it does retain most of its shape. I can see here with the bumper and license plate holder with the lights here. Well, kind of with the lights. And the manufacturer by your boy Nightwick, a fictional British manufacturer. And with the wheels and everything, pretty much looks like straight from an E-Type with these wire rims with the brakes exposed. What? So yeah, in terms of just making it look like the E-Type, not too bad. But for a modern take on this, I'm pretty much satisfied with the results of this. So like I said, instead of doing basic performance tests or driving it so long, we're going to be doing 4 laps at AVUS here, the full racetrack at AVUS, which was a racetrack in the 1940s or 50s when Formula 1 used to race at this exact track, like way back in the day. So let's get everything out the way and start off our time trial run here in 3, 2, 1, rev it, go. Despite having no mufflers, we completed a lap. Oh no, that was our starting. We're topped out. I was about to say now, I thought we completed 1 lap somehow, like the West Coast USA time trial, where you have to put the hot lap feature on, not like the hot lap feature, but start the time trial by doing a hot lap before you actually complete a lap. If you don't do that, then you'll basically complete the race by just crossing one checkpoint. But the time is going just as fine. We're capped out at 31 miles an hour, and we're going slow, and we got an MPG rating of around 177 miles per gallon and rapidly climbing. Let's just make this left turn. I'm gassing it all the way. No brakes. That is a horrible turning circle. And also with this track, as you download it, it's going to have some bugs, especially right here to your right. There is literally no legit ground once you leave the racetrack. So if you go off track, you're going to go in the abyss and pretty much be lost in translation right then and there. I want to know, okay, we're definitely redlining. I just want to know, what would be the max MPG we can get right here? We're at 230 and rapidly climbing at a range of 1,680 something miles and rapidly climbing. Damn, we pretty much just saved the world right here with this car. I mean, it's impractical in terms of speed and everything, how it looks with the tires and everything, and the being a rear engine in a Jaguar type body. Well, it won't put out a whole lot of like gas in the air and everything, and some, well, if it had been, if it had catalytic converters and everything, then yeah, we'll really cut off our emissions with this vehicle. But in terms of just like driving a vehicle, not using so much gas, well, we pretty much saved the world right there. We don't have to do a whole lot of refueling everything, and our oil reserves will pretty much go sky high and make gas prices be at Trump levels at like $1.99 a gallon or something stupid. That was the good old days a few years ago when all the oil was just stonks in terms of just like fuel reserves, how much oil they had behind our backs and everything. But nowadays, we're still in the pandemic. We got the inflation going on. Not gonna happen anytime soon, or in the future, put it that way. Not gonna happen in the future. I think I kind of regret picking this type of track. Normally you drive this track at a high speed, but do avoid like right here along the edge right here. If I go too far to the right, I'm done. Yeah, 4 laps is way too much. So let me do a couple more laps here. Like, I'm not going to do a whole lot of talking, not a whole lot of action. It's just a speed driving at a slow speed. 3 minutes, 18 seconds, 686 milliseconds for the first lap. I might as well just complete it as is. Probably go to grid map or somewheres, and then drive this vehicle like brutal slope or somewheres, and really end its misery. Because we can see here, driving hella slow, 380 miles per gallon at 2,600 miles and counting left in range. And we haven't used a 100th of a gallon of fuel just yet, traveling at about 2 miles. I'll keep you updated at, never mind, I'll keep you updated right now. About 2 miles, we used 100th of a gallon. Let's see if I can make this turn right here. Like, literally, cut down the corner. No. And we're still in 4th gear. It's almost to the point where I don't want to hold the throttle. I'm going to put on cruise control. Let's see. Put on cruise control at, now, 31. Let's see. I'm at 31. Cruise control is doing its work. Oh, it's doing pretty good. It's like right damn near the red line mark. It's probably like another 20 or 30, 40, probably around like 20 or 30 RPM more to actually redlining it. So let the speed do the work, the car do its work in terms of speed, and I'll just do the steering as so, as you can see here. And I'll keep you updated if we do get 500 miles per gallon or more. So we're on lap number 3, and we still didn't break the 500 MPG barrier, but we're approaching 3,000 miles of range. We're at 295-ish, 96, 96 again, 97, 98. I mean, they're just like flashing like real brave. Let's see right here. 3,000. 3,002 miles, and we're counting. We're above the 3,000 range right now, and we're soon going to get our 3rd lap done to get into our 4th lap. And boy, I mean, I'm putting my hazards on to make things even more stupid, but this is hella boring, man. And our coolant is like gone up in here. The engine's cold. And second of all, we haven't even used 200ths of a gallon of fuel. We're still at 100th of a gallon still. This is stupid. And I swear, according to the split time on the top right here, are we going to get a better lap time here? It's going to take a while to do so. So we're at 440 in MPG at 3,050-ish miles. So yeah. 3 minutes, 13 seconds, 378 milliseconds. Okay then. 4th lap, I'm guaranteed it'll be probably the same thing as long as I like this corner up ahead. If I really cut down and really bring up the speed, like not like bring up the speed, but not lose a lot of speed steering so hard. I'm not gonna like hardcore corner cut it, but at least get it pretty close to the curb and really bring the turning circle into that corner with the apex and everything in check so I get the optimal speed coming in the corner and coming out. Like as I demonstrate right around here. I did it earlier, so go. Dean. We hit the brakes for the first time. That is a real shocker. We hit the brakes for the first time in freaking car history. We're about to come up to the start and finish line here. As you can see at the high beam, so there's the regular headlights. We have traveled 6.5 miles, used 100 foot gallon, 453 miles per gallon at a range of over 3,100 miles left to go. And we did a horrible 4-flap time to get a total time of 13 minutes, 5 seconds, 47 milliseconds. Let's crash this car out, and instead of going to be on the grid map, we'll go to the automation test track and see if this can conquer a few of those hills at the hill climbing section. So go to free roam, find somewhere to crash this out to, and take it there. Okay, camera as is, speed as is, get a collision right here. Impact detected, stopping car. Why? For a vehicle with no safety features, we still get the impact detected stopping car type of feature in place. And the rear of the vehicle looks okay, right of the vehicle looks kind of scrunched there, left side of the vehicle, not as much as the right side, and the front of the vehicle, damn. Hopefully somebody can restore this and bring it back to good shape or something like that. So as promised, go to the automation test track, do a few hill climbing tests right there. Gonna be kind of short and everything in general, so spawn you there right now and take it down to brutal slope and into misery. And even right here, I just spawned in, like, how the hell did this building get here? I did nothing with the map editor or anything. I mean, the building is just in here. Like, I could just delete this and pretty much call it a day, right? Or just find where this building came in the first place. Like, if you know any suggestions how to get rid of that, like, it's probably with the map editor or something. So if you got any suggestions, like, if it's that or something else, just let me know down below in the comments. And I'll consider deleting that building safely and pretty much drive the automation test track again in the future. So without further ado, let's go to the leftmost part, which I believe, they go by percentage grade. So it's an 8% grade right here. So 8% grade, no problem. We'll get no problem going around the corner. Just as fine. 8% seems pretty healthy. So whip this bitch around with the e-brake. Horrible J-turn. And I believe this is a 15%, I believe. So hard on the throttle. And still doing pretty good. And what will we do at the 30-degree mark, which I think it's up to the left, though. It is the leftmost part. I think it's 30 degrees or something, or I'm going by degrees as percentage. I'm like used to saying degrees, but I like saying it. So that was a 15-ish. 25 is right here in effect. 25. Losing speed. And we're going to downshift. No. We're doing pretty good. And over rev. Over rev risk. And now the 35% grade. Let's see here. Go to 4th gear. No, we don't go into 4th gear. So hard on the accelerator. Still going hard. And like that, being around 5.6 horsepower, 400 whatever pounds. Not too bad. We're going to kill the engine right here. So 40 miles an hour. Valve train damage. Keep on going. Keep going. Engine torque reduced. Too late. Whatever, too late. End of misery. Or park it just like that. So take it to the top of brutal slope right now, and it's misery to see if this vehicle, despite in good condition, crash condition, to see it's still sustainable. So bring it there right now. So here we are at the top of the ramp here, the top of the hill and everything in general. So let's hit the gas pedal as hard as we can to get a theoretical 0 to 60 and over rev risk, valve train damage, mild over rev, damage, engine torque reduced, and dead. 0 to 62 at 5.81 seconds of 271.61 feet. And oh my god. Dude, oh my god, we are swaying so hard because of the lack of tire profiles and poor aerodynamics. This is gonna be a challenge here. This is gonna be a real challenge. Look at this. Deja vu, I've been to this place before. God damn it. Try that again. Well, we'll first crash these trees. Are gonna crash these trees, or we're gonna... I think we're gonna flat out miss the trees, or... No, direct hit. Right to driver's side we go. Impact detected stopping car like so. Wrap the bitch around a tree just like that. So instead of just F7ing it to make myself more... Oh boy, we're really stuck. I'm pulling on the car. So despite the sharp, loose polygons that I created right there, the damage of the vehicle, rear's okay. Left side, oh yeah. Right side, kind of an oh yeah. So I'm about to approach the bottom of the ramp. I'm at 2 times slow-mo. This is not even easy. 194 at the bottom. I want to keep this straight as possible to get the top of the ramp here. So... keep it straight, keep it steady, keep it... Jesus. Well, we're going to enter backwards at a speed of 95 miles an hour. So full time all the way until we get to the bottom and engine start of oil. Because we are about to be upside down. And we're going to stop right here. Get a camera going and get a crash at 6 times slow-mo to see what it's like crashing in ass first at a pretty high speed. So 60 times. There you have it. Is the engine destroyed? No, main engine broken. Yes, it is. Engine locked up. Yep, it's broken. So here's the vehicle. Pop it up in the air pretty good. and really pop it in the air. Go to full time. And over in we go. And we land on our side, or barely on our wheels. We just got on our wheels at the very last second. So damage to the vehicle, as you can see here at the rear. As you can see, ass first really went ass first. I mean, look at all the loose polygons, the chassis, the engine clearly exposed right here, right? You can see the center of your screen. That's exposed, the engine, the suspension, the brakes, the rest of the suspension, and elsewhere about the vehicle. So elsewhere about the vehicle, I mean, there is damage, of course, and some loose front polygons and everything, and yeah, that'll be it. And last part of the video, go to the little wedge block thingy to get a wedge-shaped look at the vehicle, which you can see way in the background. So here I am skateboarding at the top of the ramp here to get a wedge-shaped look at this vehicle, which is basically a square block where you get a wedge-shaped look at your vehicle crashing at a very high speed. And on the grass, we pretty much got a little bit better grip here. I got the engine off to pretty much save the edge until last, and I'm speaking way too soon, way too early. I might as well have to go to 2-type slow-mo. Hold on, we're drifting hard. All right, 8-type slow-mo, steer left hard. Steer left as we go. At least kind of counter the vehicle, not fight so much to the point we're about to drift left up in here. So steer a little bit harder. Okay, we're steering hard to the left at 8-times slow-mo, and I might as well speed up real soon. Go 2 times. 2 times slow-mo we go, and we're pretty much stable. We're pretty much stable all the way. Yep, we're stable. And wait for it. Stop. Right at the edge, 194 miles an hour upon collision, so get a interesting camera angle, like right in here, hide the UI, and go. 100 times slow-mo in effect. Here comes the front of the vehicle, as so. Here comes the front smashing in. Is going to be everything? Virtually everything. I mean, we can see the front end just completely smashed in up in here, so 60 times slow-mo. Hazards are now going off because impact detected, stopping car like always, and full time. That is a... Hello, tire. That is a bizarre look at this vehicle. And engine is, of course, broken up in here. Main engine broken, and it's purely inoperable. So let's F7 it somewheres down here and get you a look at the aftermath of the destruction of this vehicle. So the damage to the vehicle. As you can see here, well, we pretty much wedged it as expected. Big time wedged up in here. We can see we got this angle going down, and the rest of the body and everything doing its thing. And with the front... What in the Warner Brothers Looney Tunes hell is this front end doing? I mean, it is like real flat looking right here. I mean, it's just like flattened it like a one-dimensional plane or something stupid. Like, I can't really think of something. But 1D plane, good enough. Like, front end destroyed. The left side, you can see the extent like the right side and the rear side mangled up. Big time mangled up. So that'll do it with automation and BeamNG.drive with the hashtag IBeatFilm86 Hypermiler made by Nightwick. So yeah, with this vehicle, with the MPG stats and everything in automation, this does break the record of 551.4 miles per gallon, beating the previous record of 546.1 by Filmin86. And I don't know if this vehicle today made pretty much ends the MPG war of him and Rye going at each other's throats trying to make the most MPG from like 400 miles per gallon to 507 miles per gallon, 546 to 551. This car pretty much ends everything. And for those who are interested in this type of content, please be sure to like and subscribe so you won't miss out on any videos like this in the future. And also, check out my social media down in the description below. So this is TRIZE rising up and signing out.